some pipe cleaners. I use 2 for this. You can use 1 if you like. Then you're going to need some yarn. I'm going to use yellow for the center here, and then some more green for the back, and then pink for the flower petals. And then of course green for the base of the little bobble here. So let's get started. You're also going to need a crochet hook. I'm using a size G. You're going to need a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle. Okay, so we're going to start with a magic loop. And there's my magic loop. And I don't pull it tight. I chain 1. And then I do 8 half double crochets and ring. Oops. So I'll come back when I have 8 in the ring. So there's my 8 half double crochets in the ring, and then I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning. And then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to put a half double crochet in that same space. And then the next stitch I'm going to put 2 half double crochets in. And I'm going to do that in every stitch all the way around. You're just going to put 2 half double crochets all the way around. Okay, so there is my 2 half double crochets in every stitch around. And I have 18 stitches, and I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning. And then I'm going to chain 1. And then now this round, I'm just going to put 1 half double crochet in that next stitch. And the reason why I do 8 here and not do 9 is because I want it to puff out just a hair so it looks like the center of a flower would. So then I'm going to put, so I put 1 half double crochet in the same space, and then I'm going to put another half double crochet in the next stitch. And then I'm going to put 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. So now I'm going to repeat that pattern, 1 in the next, and then 2 in the next, 2 half double crochets. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, so I've completed all the way around, and I've put 28 stitches all the way around, repeated the pattern until the last 2, and I put 2 in each of the last 2. And I told you the reason why I did it is to give it a little puffiness so it looks like it's a rounded for the flower. And then I slip stitch to the beginning, and then I chain 1 and I cut my working yarn. And then you're going to want to take and pull, make that a knot. So that's a knot. And then you're going to want to tighten this and knot this and weave in the ends, but you don't need to cut them because they can be sewn in. So now you're going to take the green yarn, and let's make the base part here that's short and easy. So I just start with a magic loop. There's my magic loop. And then I chain 1, and then I put, no, I tightened it a little too small. I put 1 half double crochet, and then I'm going to put 7 more in there. Just going to put, so I'll have a total of 8 half double crochets in my magic loop. So I'll come back when I'm done. So there's my 8 half double crochets. I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning, chain 1, put 1 half double crochet in that same chain 1 space, and then I'm going to put 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. and I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so I have 18 stitches across this next row, and I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning. And I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to put 1/2 double crochet in that same stitch, and I'm going to put 1/2 double crochet in each stitch around, and I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so you have 18 stitches around, and it looks like it's curling up, and that's what you want. I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning, chain 1, and I'm going to cut that working yarn, and I'm going to pull up, make that a knot. Now I'm going to weave this on end, and this one I'm going to leave open until I'm more complete with my flower, because I don't want to close that until I'm done. So I'll come back when I'm done with that. Okay, so I have the ends weaved in, this knotted and weaved in. I have this one weaved in, but I'm left this one open. So now let's move on to the next part. Let's do this green part. And so let's get started on that. And so you're going to start with a magic loop again. And I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to put 8 half double crochets in the same loop. So I'll come back when I have my 8 half double crochets in that loop. Now I'm going to tighten that magic loop, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning. There's my slip stitch, chain 1, put 1 half double crochet in that same stitch, and you're going to put 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. I'll come back when I have the 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. So I have 18 half double crochets in that all the way around, and I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning, and then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to put 1 half double crochet in that same stitch. Get my thumb out of the way here. And then I'm going to put 1 half double crochet in that next stitch, and then I'm going to put 2 half double crochets in the next. And I'm just going to repeat that pattern all the way around, and I'll come back. Okay, so I have 28 stitches around, just like my yellow one, so they match. And I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning, and I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to leave a length of tail so I can weave in them together. And I'm going to pull that up and make that a knot so it doesn't undo my crocheting. And then I'm going to knot this and weave that end in. Okay, so now I have the yellow, and I'm going to hold it where the bottom is, and I'm going to grab my eye, and I'm going to place it. See how I have it in this middle row? So I'm going to place it so the bottom little ledge is down here. Whoops. And I'm going to place it over here. Slide it in there. You can see the back. And I'm just going to snap that right on. So it's snapped on. I snapped it the other way. It was so much easier. And then, so I can twist it a little bit. So you might have to finesse those eyelashes. Careful not to pull them, because you will pull them off. And then I'm going to grab the other eye, put the eyelashes on, and I'm just going to put it so it's a little bit of a little part. Try to make sure the eyelashes are where I want them to be. And then I'm going to grab my back, and then I'm just going to grab the back, And I'm going to snap it on. If it'll let me. So it might take a little finessing and squeezing, but I got her on. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some stuffing. Now the stuffing you don't have to do. It's an option. That's why I didn't say it in the beginning. But I'll have to post it on there in writing. And so I'll have stuffing in here to make it kind of like bulgy, puffy. So I have my stuffing ready, and I have my tapestry needle threaded, and I have the bottom of the green and the bottom of the yellow matching up. So I'm going to go through both loops of the green and both loops of the yellow, and I'm going to pull it through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the next stitch through both loops, so you can see where I'm going. And I'm just going to lightly pull it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, and I'm going to grab my pipe cleaners, and you can use one if you want, and you can fold it over and twist it like I do, and it's really short, and that's what's on here. But I'm going to make this one a little bit longer, so I have two of them folded in half, and I'm just going to twist them all the way down. Keep twisting them. And I'm just going to leave that so I have some support. And so there's my stem. So I'm going to insert that right now in there. And then I'm going to pull it tight because I'm at the base. I'm at the very bottom. You can see. So I should be all set. And I can pull it tight around that stem. And then I'm going to come back through, since I came out the green, I'm going to go right back into the next green and the next yellow. And then I'm going to go in the next yellow and the next green. So you're going to have a little bit of green showing through where they're connecting. So I'm just going to continue to do this all the way around, making sure you're going in both stitches. And make sure you're weaving in your ends. So it's coming together. So I'll come back when I'm down here. Alright, so I have a hole, and I'm going to stick some stuffing up there. So that looks like it might be enough. I can put a little bit more. Now you don't have to stuff it, but if you choose, great. If not, great. No big deal. Okay, so now I'm just going to complete stitching all the way around. Remember to go in both loops. And then I'm back to the beginning, and I'm going to go around the green stem, and I'm going to stitch it back. So just to give it some more reinforcement. So, and I pull it tight, and then I'm going to take it behind here, and I'm going to knot it around one of these loops. And I push it down, and then I take it and I weave in my ends around this green. And then I'm going to weave it back so it doesn't come out. So it's in there really good. And then I'm going to cut my working yarn, and I did weave in my other ends in here. And so there is the beginning of my flower. And the reason why I don't have the lips on yet is because I don't want to bump them. I want to keep them on. So, and since I'm going to be crocheting around for the flower petals, I'm just going to hold off. And so now I'm going to move this stuff aside, and I'm going to grab the pink yarn or whatever color you choose for the flower petals. But pink usually shows up really well on the camera. So it's why I use a lot of pink. Plus I like the color pink. So I just make a slip knot on my crochet hook. And I start at the bottom. And I'm going to go in one of those stitches with a single crochet. And then on the same stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to do a double treble crochet. And so the next stitch, I'm going to go into a double treble, and that's where you yarn over 3 times on your crochet hook. And then I insert it into the next stitch, and I pull up a loop. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on my hook, and I pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. And now I have 4 loops on my hook, and I yarn over again and pull through 2. I have 3 loops on my hook, and I yarn over and pull through 2. And the last one, I yarn over and pull through 2 more. And this gives the petals a little bit of length. And so I'm going to put 3 of those double trebles crochets. And so there's yarn over 3 times. And so I'm going to do that one more time. And it takes me a minute to do this stitch. So there's my next one, and I'm going to put 1 more in that same stitch. So there's my 3 double treble crochets. Now in the next stitch, I'm going to put a double crochet. And then a single crochet. So let me pull some more yarn here. The next stitch, I'm going to single crochet into the next stitch. And then I'm going to double crochet in that same stitch. And then I'm going to do a double treble crochet in that next stitch. So this is the center of my flower petal, and I make sure I go through both the front side and the back side of that edge of the flower. And it may take some finessing. You might get caught in the yarn. So I'm just going to continue. And so I'm going to yarn over 3 times again and insert it in the same hook and the same stitch. And so I'm going to do 3 more of those stitches in that same stitch. Let's do 1 more here. There's my next stitch. Okay, so now I'm to the other side of my petal, and I'm going to make a double crochet in this next stitch here. And then in the same stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet. And then in this next stitch, I'm going to do another single crochet and a double, and it starts the beginning of my next petal. So I'm going to do that all the way around, and I'll come back. Okay, so I'm to my last flower petal, and so this is what she's looking like. So now what I'm going to do is I've completed this petal, and I'm just going to repeat my pattern for you one more time. So I just single crochet in that same stitch, and then I put a double crochet in that same stitch, and then I yarn over 3 times, and I put a double treble crochet. Remember to work through both sides of your flower, and I put 3 of them in there. So sometimes it's hard without the yarn breaking. So I'm going to do one more double treble in there in that same stitch. And then trying to complete that stitch. Okay, so there's my 3. And then I'm going to yarn over one more time and put it in the next stitch. And I'm going to do a double crochet. There's my double. It's hard to tell and see with this. And then I'm going to do a single crochet in that same stitch. So there is that. And then what I'm going to do is, these stitches are so hard to go into. You can try to put a stitch in there, but I pull my yarn to the front and I grab the loop from the single crochet that I made in the beginning, and I'm going to make it a slip stitch down in there after I single crochet or slip stitch it together so it doesn't look funny. So there is my stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to grab my tapestry needle and my working yarn. I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to weave that end. It's just because it's too hard to get into that stitch with a crochet hook. It's hard with a tapestry needle. So I'm just going to pull it down. Just going to weave it in, come back through with my tapestry needle, and I'm going to pick up that next one. And it's incredibly hard anyway. And so there it looks like you've single crocheted it. And so now what I'm going to do is just going to weave in my ends. And no one knows all the difference. But it's just because it's too hard with this stem on there to crochet in that same stitch. So let me come back when I've got the ends weaved in. Okay, so I have all my ends weaved in. You have it stuffed. I have this separated at the bottom, so I don't have to worry about that. So now I'm going to grab my lips real quick and my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to put some hot glue on the lips, and I'm going to find the center, and I'm just going to push it in. So there's the lips on your flower, and then I'm going to grab the center that I did for the base, and I'm going to pull that loop up, or pull that, make sure that's not too tight in there, and I'm going to stick my pipe cleaners down in there, being careful not to get the yarn. And I did. I got a couple little threads of the yarn. So there is all 4 of my legs for my pipe cleaner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this around that. I'm going to grab my tapestry needle, thread it, and I'm going to make a little slip knot or a little knot to secure that won't open up. And then I'm going to weave in my ends. It's really hard to do it in front of the camera like this. Okay, so there's my ends weaved in. I cut that yarn and I spread the pipe cleaner apart, those legs, to give it some more stability. So, and you can make it so it has some stability. And then I take my stand and I coat it with hot glue. I think I'm gonna need another stick. So I'm just going to continue to make sure this is good. So I think I have my hot glue on there. So then I just set this down and I bend some of those legs just over that tip of the base. I don't know if you can see it well. So they're not going to show because you're going to have that green here over there, the green from the pipe cleaner, and then you're going to have the green, the base that we just made. And so I'm just going to make sure that they're sturdy under there, and then I'm going to pull it down. And then there is your googly-eyed flower, and I make sure that stem is up in the flower head so she stands upright. That's why I shoved it in there so far, so she's up there sturdy. And it's gonna be flopsy. You can make it a shorter stem, which is what this one has, but this one's got a little bit of a longer stem. So there you have your little bobbly head flower. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.